welcome to the hottest new channel on YouTube, The Nerd Herd, the channel where we will discuss, review, debate, and talk about comic books, superhero movies, and pop culture in general. I am your host, Cascio Pistachio, and I will be with you for each and every scintillating episode of The Nerd Herd. Our topic today is in defense of Rogue One and In-Betwee-quels just like it. Now, In-Betwee-quel is what I call a retcon, or a new chapter, episode, or narrative placed in between existing narrative or story arcs that came years or decades before the new material. Die-hard comic fans and purists alike are all too familiar with this common occurrence and have had rage, indignation, and outright hurt feelings over the many creative liberties that publishers and studio executives continually take with our beloved and time-honored fictional characters. A couple weeks ago, a friend of mine said something like Rogue One ruins the continuity or upsets the storytelling balance in Star Wars: A New Hope. The basic argument was that the people, places, and events surrounding the theft of the Death Star plans were never mentioned or even remotely detailed in the original Star Wars. Now, I myself have no problem with this, but apparently there are a lot of people that do, and that's the basis for this video. I want to hear from anyone who agrees or disagrees that In-Betwee-quels like Rogue One is anathema to any and all long-running franchises and comic book narratives. Is there really a valid debate for this? Well, I guess I'm going to find out. The main thrust in the original Star Wars is based around the stolen Death Star plans. I mean, aside from Luke, the plans are really what the story's about. The Rogue One characters are not mentioned or spoken of in Star Wars because they're non-essential to the plot in Star Wars. It's not their story. The story is about what happens to the plans after they're handed over to Princess Leia. And what about the other unknown pilots, technicians, and soldiers of the Rebel Alliance that we do see throughout the original trilogy? They're never talked about or spoken of. But couldn't either one of them have some fantastic, exciting story to be told? As a writer myself, I cannot, in all cases, support the negativity towards retcons or reboots or add-ins. Because as long as the new material doesn't drastically or negatively affect the original narrative, I don't have a problem with it. And I don't think a lot of people wouldn't have a problem with it either. But in the case of Star Wars, my friend is concerned that the scene in The Empire Strikes Back had been or could be soon compromised due to Disney's ongoing creation of new canon in the mass media market. In the case of Star Wars, my friend is concerned that one scene in Empire Strikes Back had been or soon would be compromised due to Disney's ongoing creation of new canon across mass media. This I concur with, because I'm not sure how well Disney is or will be keeping track of continuity issues like the one we were talking about. It's the dialogue between Luke and Han after Luke's come out of the bacta tank in Empire Strikes Back. Han says, "That's to you, Obi Jr.," referring to the end of the Battle of Yavin when Han swooped in and cleared the way so Luke could make his 1 in a million shot. Following that, despite an undetermined amount of time passing between A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back, there was no other occasion when Han personally saved Luke's life for a second time. And I believe this is a viable concern. So far, Disney has not violated the sanctity of that scene from Empire, but all it would take is for someone in power to overlook, forget, or even disregard any aspect of the original movies for the sake of what they consider a cool idea. And then the truth and purity of those movies will be lost for all time. I say this: story is organic. It is in a sense somewhat alive when treated with respect and authenticity. It should be allowed to grow and evolve naturally and intuitively. It should be allowed for creatives to go back to a certain point in the narrative and retell an established story with embellishments, add-ons, and plugins, as long as they don't upset what has come before or after. They should have no problem crafting well-written, well-told stories to go in between all that's come before. But that in itself is a very tall order, and it remains to be seen just how careful and meticulous Disney will be in handling the ever-expanding new universe of Star Wars. So what do you think? Do you think betweequels like Rogue One should continue to be made and inserted everywhere and anywhere across the Star Wars universe? Do you think the powers that be should leave well enough alone and just focus on telling stories that take place in the furthest future of all that's come before? Drop us a line below and let us know your thoughts. That's all the time I have for now, but be sure to come back soon for the next thrilling installment of The Nerd Herd.